What is up, everybody? It's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Rosewood Park renovation video. So today we're going to be furnishing the Morris. This is the last house in this neighborhood. I'm a little bit sad, but I'm also a little bit happy because it took a while. I was purposely putting these houses off to the last anyway because there's just so many of them. But I'm a little bit sad, y'all, because I like doing these. But anyway, so this house is called the Morris, and it is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Now, I did not know what I wanted to furnish this house to be. I was like, I don't have any ideas. So luckily last week I did a video. If you didn't see it, I'll leave a link down below, but I did this video where every single cabin was a different aesthetic and different color scheme. So I still had the wheel, so I was like, why don't I just spin the wheel and it whatever aesthetic it gives me, I will just do. So the first thing that I got when I spun the wheel was zombie core, and I was like, I'm not making this house be zombie core. I'm not making this look like a zombie apocalypse. It's not about to happen. So I spun again, and then I got e-boy / e-girl. So if you don't know what an e-boy or e-girl is, it's an aesthetic choice. Basically, it's like modern day goth, but with a lot of emphasis on technology and stuff like that. So when I looked up what e-boy rooms looked like, a lot of them were black and white, muted colors, which kind of makes sense. But then I was like, I don't really know if I want to do that. So I know the e-girl aesthetic a lot of the times is very colorful, bright, kawaii type stuff. So I was like, why don't I just have a house made for an e-couple, right? It's like an e-boy and e-girl. So the first room that I'm furnishing, I kind of talked over it, but this is the first room. This is the little, foyer. Usually when I do videos like this or building in The Sims, I'll start out with one idea, and then as I go throughout the build, it kind of diverges and changes into something different. So this first part of the house looks very normal, I would say, quote unquote normal, as opposed to the other rooms in the house. It's this little section and then the bedroom upstairs and the upstairs bathroom, but we'll get to that. So moving on, this is the living room. So you might have saw earlier I built out a little half wall. I am using this glass that comes, I think it's CC that comes with the world, but I really liked it, so I was like, why don't I just kind of separate this living room from the kitchen. So right now I'm using these rugs from the university pack. They're kind of hexagonal. They kind of remind me of science, but I was like, why don't we just kind of use those in here and kind of put two together. I used that beanbag chair from Generations. I also used, I think, the chair from the store, and then I think that little chair is from Late Night, I want to say. And I used the TV from the High End Loft Stuff pack, and I don't ever use this TV for anything, y'all. So the idea that I have for the couple was them being they're a couple obviously, but they're also content creators, but they're YouTubers or Twitch streamer type thing. It's kind of ironic though, because I did a house kind of like this a couple weeks ago, and funny enough, this house is right beside that house. So y'all, this was not intentional. Like I said, I spun a wheel. So I like to think that maybe the Sims that live here, they know the other Sims, the influencer type Sims. If you didn't see that speed build, I'll leave a link down below. But in my brain, I'm they kind of know who they are, but I feel the eCOUPLE does not like them. I feel I don't know, I just get the vibe that they kind of stay to themselves. They have their own friends. They don't really like to associate with the influencers, and I don't really know why. I don't know. I'll let y'all fill the blanks then. I don't know. But as you can see, everything in this room is starting to come together. So as you see, I used a lot of those wall lights. So those come from the Roaring Heights world off of the Sims 3 store, and those lights are just so perfect. There's also some lights that are kind of similar to that. There's some that come with the Showtime pack, so I kind of mixed and matched and used a bunch of those in here, but I made sure to use a lot of those lights. And I kind of feel this build looks a little bit tacky, but in a good way. Y'all have to let me know what you think about it down below. Just know that I used a lot of those wall lights, and the one thing I really like about these is that you can kind of move them up and down like you could a painting. So I really wanted them to kind of touch the ground and the top of the room, the top of the wall. So I kind of use move objects and move them into each other, so they kind of clip, but you can't really notice it too much. And then moving on, this is where the kitchen and the dining room is going to be. So I knew that I wanted to use that palm tree with, it's the palm tree that comes from the Vegas set. So in my brain, I was okay, of course, the couple, they're gamers or whatever, but I feel one of the couples, they have Ace, ACE. I think that's their channel nickname. I want to say. And I kind of was inspired by like a lot of the stuff from the Vegas set anyway, because, you know, bright colors, lights. So I had to use like that painting. I used, of course, the palm tree. In the upstairs like office, I used the bookshelf that comes with the Vegas set. So I feel like their channel name is Ace, or maybe that's like what they like to go as online. So I was like, why don't we just use like some Vegas inspired objects in here? Also, I have got to build a casino really soon for YouTube, so I think I was kind of like thinking about that as well. But as you can see, I use a lot of those wall lights. I use like little rounded ones to go around that painting. Over here is the kitchen. So for the kitchen, I use a lot of the stuff from the Future Shock set. I don't have the whole entire set, but I do have like the kitchen set, and I have like maybe the loft. It's one of the other sets. So I was trying to use some of that. Again, this is a house for gamers, and I was trying to like fit into like the e-boy, e-girl aesthetic kind of. So you usually see kind of stuff like this sometimes. I just feel like The Sims 3 has so many good objects anyway that I was like, I need to start using some of these. So I knew that I wanted to use those for the kitchen. And then I use the height and loft stuff lighting, and I don't ever really use it because it kind of casts off a blue light. If you want to, I think you can change it by going into the game and like changing the color of it. But like by default, it gives off like this blue shine, and I just love the way that this room, like the first room, like the living room and the kitchen, I think this is like my favorite part of the whole entire house. Just the lighting, the color is really moody. Love it. I knew that I also wanted to put like a bar in the corner of this room, so I used the one from the high-end loft stuff, and then I used those bottles. I cannot think of where they came from. Maybe University, maybe Late Night, I can't remember, but I used like those bottles in here as well. And I also used the dining table from the Diesel stuff pack, which if y'all don't know, Diesel stuff has good like clothes, but the items are kind of like hit or miss for me. So like, for example, we have this table. Usually with a Sims table, you know, in The Sims 3, you could usually recolor it and stuff like that and like change the way it looks. Well, you can recolor these tables, but you can't change the design on it. So you'll see it has like that stencil with the design on it. You can't change that. Now there is a mod that exists that allows you to remove stencils from objects, so I could recolor it if I wanted to, but I didn't have the mod installed. So I was like, you know what, why don't we just use this table, because like the design of it kind of looks like it kind of blends in. So I was like, let's just use it. And then you might have also just saw I'm using some of these Showtime lights. I kind of use these to kind of be like a fake backsplash for like the kitchen and for like the bar area. I thought it was kind of like a nice touch. Again, I feel like this house is kind of becoming a little bit tacky, and I feel like if this was real life, the light bill here has got to be astronomical, because like if this was my house, y'all, I might have a one light strip, maybe two, but I'm not about to have like all lights everywhere, like no. And I'm a content creator, so like nah, couldn't be me. But then moving on, this is the first bathroom. So I wanted to have like a black tile in here, and I wanted the bathroom to kind of like mirror the rest of the house in a way, so I had to use those strip lights. Again, these are the ones that come with Showtime, so if you don't have Roaring Heights, you can still kind of get like the same vibe in a way. And as you can see, I did stack them. If you look close enough, you'll see that these actually clip. That's unfortunate, but I really wanted to use that in here. I also use like that nice modern sink, and then I also ended up using one of the modern sinks from the Sims 3 store. I thought it looked kind of cool. I think it's like the ultra modern set or something like that. And then I ended up using the tub from the Into the Future pack. I don't even know how many times I've used that one. And then I also used the rug from the high-end loft stuff. I really like the record rug. Like I said, if you Google like e-boy room or e-boy aesthetic, you'll see like music, and I saw like music and records and stuff like that. So I was like, let's kind of play into that. And then I also found this light. I do not know what set it comes with, but it looked so cool, and it kind of like gave off a good amount of lighting by the tub. So I was like, let's just use that. So moving on, this is the upstairs. So there's two bedrooms in this house. So the first one I was going to make into a nursery, but then I was like, no, they're content creators, they need an office. So I ended up putting two like office tables in here. So as you'll see, I used one of the ones from the Vegas set. If you look close enough, you'll see it actually has like I think that's a spade. But you'll see it has like a little like, you know, card design on it. So I was like, ooh, that belongs to like the sim who's like Ace Online or whatever, like their name. And then I ended up putting like two different computers. So I used like the really nice one from the high-end loft stuff, and then the other one is really nice as well. It looks like a tube computer, like one of the old ones, but it's really not. If you look close enough, you'll see there's nothing behind it. So I was like, that looks like it could be a very fancy PC like gaming case or something like that. So it's like, let's just use that in here. I also wanted to use like a heart rug in here because just why not? It took me a while to figure out what to do in this room. Like I had so many different ideas and I had to keep pausing the recording. You'll see that I tried to use that little like flag banner from University, but I realized if you look close enough now, you can see it, but I realized that it doesn't actually go up against the window. So I was like, I can't use it because I don't want it to float too much. So I had to get rid of it. I also really wanted to use like those slot lights from the Vegas set. Like I had had to just go all out with this one. I also used that very spooky Halloween-y arcade cabinet, and I had to like match it up with the jack-o'-lantern light from the Sims 3 store. I thought it was kind of cool in here. I did, however, go back off camera. You'll see it in the screenshots, but I ended up putting another arcade cabinet in the other end of the room. I used like one of the futuristic ones. I think it was the one from Into the Future, I want to say, but I had to use that in here as well. And then I wanted to like have something in the back of this room, because if you ever see like a lot of YouTubers or content creators, they tend to have like really cool backdrops like bookshelves or lighting. See, in real life, I don't have that. So like right behind me, I have a couch, and then I have like a window, and it has like blinds, and that's it. Like, and then like the thing is, like, I sit so far away from my window that like I couldn't put a bookshelf behind me because it would be in the way, you know? So I had to like kind of channel my ideas of what I would like in The Sims. So we have like a nice bookshelf. I also put some more like neon lights in here, some little figurines and stuff like that. I added some stuff off camera. So like I said, usually if you stick around for the screenshots at the end of the video, you will see more of what will be in the build when you go to download it, because that's usually when I'm putting like the finishing touches on a build. So y'all see that. And then I also use like another light strip in here as well. I recolored that picture. If you didn't know, y'all, that one comes from University, and it has some really cool swatches on it. So yeah. But moving on, this is the bedroom. So this is where the couple will sleep. I wanted this one, admittedly, y'all, to be more normal, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like whenever I do these heavily themed builds, sometimes I feel like I can go a little bit overboard. But I was thinking about in terms of like what I would like in real life. Like if I had a house like this, you know, it would be very themed or whatever, but I would also like to have like a room, at least 1 or 2 rooms in the house, be more like normal, neutral, like everyday type thing. So I kind of wanted to go for that in this bedroom. So I used those safe end tables. I thought those were kind of cool, but I used those in here, and I also used a couple of light strips. So I still was kind of trying to play into like the aesthetic, you know, with lights and stuff, but I kind of wanted something to be a little bit more neutral, calm down type thing. So I went with a more like olive grayish kind of color in here. I also use, I think that dresser comes from the Into the Future pack, and I use like that mirror, I think it's from Late Night. I ended up putting a chair from Late Night as well, and of course I recolored it to kind of match in more with the bed. And then I used a couple of those high-end loft stuff, I believe it's high-end loft stuff, bookshelves in here, and I thought those look really nice as well. And then moving on, last but not least, we have the upstairs bathroom. So I kind of wanted this one to be a little bit more normal too. I gotta like, listen y'all, the upstairs is more personal, so I was like, let me just make this a little bit more normal-ish, you know? So I wanted to use like the angled tub, but it was just too big and it was gonna clip, so I couldn't use it. So I ended up using the shower. I think that's from the high-end loft stuff, and I also used some stone to kind of make like a little bit of a backsplash in the bathroom. I also used that same stone in the downstairs bathroom, and I also used it for a backsplash in the kitchen. So I did go back off camera just to kind of change some things. I was gonna use like that futuristic sink, but then I was like, we can use like the other one from the ultra modern set, so I ended up using that one as well. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below, follow me over on Twitch where I stream a lot more of The Sims. I am gonna leave this one linked down below as well. And yeah, I think the only other houses, y'all, are like some of the bigger ones in the world, so I've been purposely waiting to do those because those are kind of big. So we shall try to attempt one next week. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one. Please be sure to stick around for the screenshots, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thanks for watching!